Hello there, puppies. How are y'all doing? We do have the puppies posted for sale now. We think we're going to be keeping 2. We were going to keep 3, but Jane has decided, since having the puppies and them getting older, that it's time to learn how to hunt chickens. And we actually lost last week, between Thursday to Sunday, we lost 4 hens because there's so many of the puppies, they overpower the hen, and that's not a good thing. So what we're doing now is we are walking out to forage for some yarrow. Now, if you watched one of our videos recently, I actually cut my finger and I used yarrow to staunch the bleeding. And honestly, I've done that twice. I did it twice in 1 week. And because of that, I made a video to let y'all know that that is an awesome herb to have if you're on the homestead and you have an emergency care kit, because it really does work. And I'm a skeptic by nature, so it's not like I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm comparing it to whenever I've had similar cuts like these 2 that I had, and honestly the results for this was the same both times. And essentially the short version is the bleeding stopped a whole lot sooner than it ever has when I've had similar cuts, and that's simply by the use of yarrow. Now, the thing I didn't mention in that video is that there is another key element to what yarrow can do to benefit you on the homestead, and that is that it is excellent for stings, especially ant bites. You know from other videos that we have fire ants here, and Malachi used to swell up, get some pretty large whelps when he was a baby when he would get bit by fire ants. And the yarrow salve worked wonders. I mean, literally within an hour or 2, the redness had abated and it didn't get as big of a pus pocket on top. And we could tell, like I said, in just a couple of hours, a major difference. And from one night to the next morning, after application of the salve and him getting some sleep, it was like phenomenal how different it was than on the bites that we failed to put the yarrow on, and we would see how his reaction was going the next day. So I am a firm believer in yarrow. Plus, if you saw yesterday's video, I mentioned that Justin got stung by a scorpion this week. Now, he did say that the sting still hurt for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, but he has told me more than once that the yarrow salve seems to help to alleviate that pain so it's not as bad. Now, if you want to learn out what additional benefits yarrow can bring, feel free to check out your nearest herb book. There are lots of great ones. Yarrow has been around for literally centuries and has been used for that long for medicinal purposes. In fact, in the Civil War era, well, actually during the Civil War itself, soldiers would take yarrow with them to pack on wounds to help stop the bleeding. So whatever your views on whether or not herbal use is hokum or not, I would like to just mention that even modern pharmaceuticals study and look for plants and the benefits that they provide before they take it and try to chemically produce the chemicals that are naturally occurring in the herbs. So there's something legitimate to it. Plus, if you ever want to know for sure that some plants have properties that affect us, chew on a toothache plant leaf. It's also called the Novocaine plant. And there's no way that you can refute the effects, because it turns your tongue and your cheek numb just by chewing it for a few seconds. It's that quick. All right, I'll get off my soapbox. Let's harvest some yarrow. So here is the yarrow here. You can see down here the fern-like leaves before the shoots are sent up. And then these are the flower heads. Now let me go ahead and mention, there are some herbs, or sorry, let me backtrack. There are some flowers that look very similar to yarrow. So you must be very careful when you are identifying them. Do not just use this video to identify them. I would not be able to provide all the key components. It's best to have a flower identification book with you while you're looking at it. And I know from doing that myself that these on my property are yarrow. One of the things that I look for, again, on our property, are these fern-like leaves, and then the flower heads. The white is the native variety, although there are many different colors of yarrow now in the cultivated kind. Can you see that green spider? That's pretty cool. But false Queen Anne's lace actually has a more circular round head, and in the center it will have like a blackish spot. But you do not want to harvest that and use that, especially if you're planning on using yarrow internally, because I believe false Queen Anne's lace can be toxic if you ingest it. So make sure, above all, that you know for sure that what you are harvesting is in fact the herb or the flower that you're wanting to harvest. So the best time to harvest yarrow is whenever it is blooming like this. All I'm going to do is snip it, tie them in a bunch, and hang them upside down, and then I've got yarrow for the next year. God bless.